Welcome to episode 94 of CHRYSALIS, The Family Adventures, entitled The Short End of the Stick. It is a painful episode, yet redeeming in its institutional assaults. The adult world coldly forces the children to endure, but one that solidifies the teens' bonds of solidarity as they must contend with those institutional assaults. Please be advised that this podcast exists to promote the script for my TV show, CHRYSALIS, The Family Adventures. Thank you for listening. Fade in. Internal, the jail, Josh's cell, day. Warden, off screen, from somewhere outside the cell. Hey, Boozy, you got lucky. Come on. Josh is piqued with curiosity but also apprehensive. The warden comes excitedly and opens his cell door. Warden, come on. Josh gets up and follows the warden out. An inmate. Hey, Boozy, always on the go. You're too busy for jail. There is a conflation of men's voices yelling non-words in response. Warden, just ignore them and follow me. Internal, the jail, long corridor, day. The two of them proceed down that long corridor, Josh following the warden. Internal, the jail, entryway, day. Walinsky is waiting there, in suit and tie and smile, for Josh. The warden turns him over. Warden, okay, sir, I have your prisoner. Walinsky, greeting Josh. Well, sir, your luck might have appeared to take a turn for the better, but we won't know for sure until after the hearing. Josh, you mean this is the parole hearing? Walinsky, yeah, young man. I was as surprised as you were. External, parking lot, day. They start walking into the lot. The bright sun makes Josh squint, putting his hands over his eyes to shield them. Walinsky leads him to a car. Walinsky, opening passenger front door. Have a seat. External, internal. Walinsky's car, moving, day. They drive a while, saying nothing. Josh pulls down the sun flap as even through the tinted windows, his eyes are sensitive to the day's brightness. Josh. So, pause. Josh. You don't want to say anything about it? Walinsky, after a pause. The only thing I can tell you about today's meeting, I've already told you. Plus, this is very strange for them to call you so soon into your term. You've been studying hard, right? Josh, very hard. Walinsky, that is in your favor. I've never represented someone in prison vigorously studying the way you do. And considering your record of getting in trouble on computers, this is indeed impressive. But I'm only second-guessing. I don't expect you to get a release date anytime soon. 2 years on a 5-year sentence is the most generous, but most people get 3 or 4 for good behavior. That's why parole can be so unnerving. It sets up expectations that are often destroyed. Internal, parole board, hearing room, day. Josh enters with Walinsky. Several men in business attire are seated in various seats. Someone who looks like an officer or assistant walks up to the two entrants, reaching out his hand. Efficient. Assistant. Hi, I'm Ramos Vicarnos. Welcome to the California Parole Review Board. The two men, Walinsky and Josh, each shake his hand successively. Vicarnos. I myself am a member, so I will be participating in making the decision about your parole. I have you as Joshua Stivic. Josh nods. And you, sir, are Mr. Gerald Walinsky, Mr. Stivic's attorney. Walinsky. Yes, sir, I am. Vicarnos, introducing another board member. This is Colgan Clammermore, another member of the board. We'd like you to feel comfortable to ask anything you have on your mind, and we will be happy to answer any questions you have or concerns you wish to raise. Walinsky. My only concern, besides knowing the outcome of the decision you will make, is the time of this hearing, so soon into the sentence. Another gentleman at the center of the group of commissioners. We discovered several unusual facts surrounding this case and therefore felt it would be in the best interest of this case to review it early rather than in term. May I go ahead with stating the facts of this case before we go on? Clamormore. By all means, go right ahead. Gentleman at center, banging a small gavel. All right, this meeting will come to order. Parole Board Supplicant Number 5407687, Joshua Stivic, has been sentenced to 5 years with parole, of which he has served 4 weeks and 3 days. We are here to examine your case, Mr. Stivic, to measure your eligibility for parole based on your charges, your sentence, and your comportment while being incarcerated. Now, your record shows that prior to incarceration, while still a juvenile, you attempted to infiltrate the Santa Ana High School database for the purpose of obtaining information on a fellow student. You were then given home confinement with the understanding of good behavior. However, you then escaped, at which point your home confinement was elevated to ankle monitoring. 3.5 years later, you escaped to go to a concert with your friends, at which point you were located and brought into this prison where you were sentenced to 5 years with parole. Subsequently, a breach was discovered on the phone of your girlfriend, which you had used to hack into someone's account in order to steal 3 tickets to the concert at which you were caught. It is obviously too soon to arrive at a good understanding of your prison comportment. However, it has been reported that you have been studying very hard every day in order to pass all your exams and graduate. So we are presented with a picture of bad behavior both as a juvenile and as an adult, alternating with what appears to be extended periods of good behavior and studiousness. That is the history of your case so far. Does anybody want to comment? Another commissioner. This is clearly a troubling picture because it does not reveal any consistency. On the one hand, there are long periods of what would seem like good behavior, but the fact that they are long periods in between many moments of violation cements a pattern of violation that wouldn't be the case were all these violations limited to a single period of time in the past. Gentleman at center. So basically, you're saying that this repeated pattern of isolated intervals over the long course of his criminal history suggests a consistency that portends that something of a violating nature is likely to occur at some point during this 5 year sentencing, and that were we to give him early parole, it is likely that this would occur certainly afterward and could very well and very likely cause harm to individuals. It is therefore my recommendation that Mr. Stivic be put under psychological observation along with counseling to help him resist this periodic urge to violate the law. I am recommending that we reconvene in 2 years after observation to see if Mr. Stivic can be paroled after 3 or 4 years, and then reconvene once every year thereafter. Is anyone in disagreement? Walinsky. Yes, I'd like to make a statement. Gentleman at center. Proceed, please. Walinsky. While on the surface this pattern of repeated but widely intermittent violations suggests not a way of life but a character flaw or weakness, what I have seen and heard of Mr. Stivic in the short time he has been incarcerated, as well as most of the time before that, is the picture of a young man subjected, due to his own unfortunate misjudgments, to a severe and harsh existence, and that yet despite this he tried his best to move forward. Clearly his weakness that repeatedly got him in trouble was his love for his girlfriend. She gave him a chance at love at a time when any teenage boy would jump at the opportunity, and all of the violations have occurred within the context of his trying to keep that love alive, totally dependent on her willingness to give him that chance, a choice he has no control over, but she does. It is significant that he put both the relationship and his freedom at risk to honor her and treat her with his love. The willingness to make such a sacrifice for her, while it is a common foible in love, shows him to be willing to put himself in potential danger to make someone else happy. This was also evident when he ran out of an ice van, putting his life in great danger to rescue her and protect her from the ICE agents. This is the kind of person we're dealing with, and I believe if given the chance, he will prove himself to be proactive in helping others and being a presence that others will find themselves wanting to have around. I therefore concur with the recommendation that he be carefully observed both in terms of his legal as well as psychological comportment, and that a probation at 2 years be kept on the table, with a reconsideration to be done within 1 month of that 2 year anniversary. Gentlemen at center, I personally, while I can't speak for everyone here, am willing to reconvene in 2 years' time to make a reconsideration based on observations between his date of incarceration and then. Any other opinions? The other commissioner. It is my recommendation that we reconvene in 2 years' time, but that the probation be withheld from 2 years based on the observed patterns to this point. It should be noted that it took him 3 years from the ankle-monitored home confinement to his violation on not one, but 2 counts, hacking as well as escape. It is therefore a very serious situation in which more time than 2 years has clearly shown itself to be needed. Thank you. Gentleman at center. Mr. Stivic, would you like to weigh in? Josh. Only that, while I realize I can't change the mistakes of my past, mostly occurring in my youth, the other commissioner. Mr. Stivic, these last 2 violations occurred within the last year, at which time you were an adult. Were we to overlook that, and not knowing if any other discoveries might come to light, as this latest one did, I believe public safety would be badly compromised by keeping the 2 year release consideration on the table. Mr. Bancroft? Gentleman in center, Bancroft. Okay, by a show of hands, how many of you are okay with the consideration of a 3 or 4 year probation date? A clear majority of hands go up. Gentleman in center, Bancroft. Those of you who raised your hands, keep them up only if you believe a 4 year consideration should be the only one kept on the table. Several hands go down. Maybe close to half the commissioners present keep their hands up. Bancroft. Okay, it looks like we only have a majority for a 3 or 4 year consideration, but not a 2 year or 4 year only consideration. So the consensus appears to be we meet in 2 years' time, examine the reports we have at that time, and then reconsider the 3 year release at that time. Should we put it to a vote? Several hands, a minority, go up. Bancroft. All right, it's clear that most of you are in favor of the 3 year consideration to be done in 2 years' time from this date. Are there any objections? A smaller group of hands, including Josh's, go up. Bancroft, noticing him. You can't vote, young man. You're not a commissioner. Josh, maybe one day. Several commissioners, amused, smile. Bancroft. Yes, maybe one day. It would be good to see you defending the law you broke. That means our work will have succeeded. Meeting is adjourned. Bangs small gavel. Walinsky. Well, young man, your humor never fails to show up at the appropriate time. Josh. 3 years. That's like forever. Walinsky. Well, look at it this way, if I may be so bold with my own humor. It may be like forever, but it's not forever. You will have a lot more than 3 years to thoroughly enjoy yourself. The commissioners have either left or are in the process of making their way toward the doors. Josh. Actually, when I said like, I didn't. Walinsky. Come on, son. The meeting's over and you have a rendezvous with destiny awaiting you back at the Santa Ana men's prison. Let's go. Internal, external. Walinsky's car moving in traffic. Day. Walinsky. I hope you're not concocting any escape schemes. Josh. No, this is way out of my league. Walinsky. Why? Would you seriously still consider scheming your way out of jail? Josh. Well, at this point, I can't imagine any other scheme than the good behavior one. Walinsky, taking it in. I'm concerned that you're still thinking of it as a scheme rather than simply the right way to live. Josh. There is no right way to live, only a best or better way. We can't even know everything. We are condemned to either known ignorance, which is better from the standpoint of knowledge, or unknown ignorance, which ranges from blissful to hellish. In either case, it is as if we are blind, even though it matters nothing to us. Walinsky. Now I see what gets you in trouble. You dwell in thought, which is good if you're engaging in philosophy, but bad if you have a device in front of you, because your thoughts transmutate in a process you're neither intellectually or systemically able to handle sufficiently. As we talk more and more, I'm learning why you seem so adept, and yet it always backfires on you. You have to be careful from now on. The probable 3 years ahead of you is your opportunity to reflect on and learn from your mistakes and rushes to judgment about things. They drive without words for a while. Internal, entrance area of the jail. A. Walinsky enters with Josh and leads him to the desk. Clerk. You returning a prisoner? Walinsky. Yes, Stivic, the parole prisoner. Clerk. Okay, wait right here, sir, while I get a warden. Jevy, who's on warden today? A man enters from behind the clerk. The man, Jevy. I believe Maxwell. Clerk. We need him to escort a prisoner. Jevy, checking Josh out. I see. Walinsky. I'll be taking off now. See you later, son. Josh salutes a farewell. He then finds himself waiting more than a little while. Chevy stares at him from time to time while going in and out to attend to his job, and the clerk pays no attention to Josh. Maxwell, a warden we haven't met yet, finally approaches. Maxwell. Come on. Internal, jail, long corridor, day. Josh follows Maxwell down the long corridor. Maxwell. You're Boozy, right? Josh. That's just what they call me. My name's Josh. Internal, jail, in front of cells, day. As the two arrive, several inmates. Boozy, how was it? Josh. Just peachy. An inmate as they all laugh. Peachy. As the laughter dies down, an attempted stoic but really emotionally assaulted Josh enters his cell as Maxwell, saying nothing, closes it and leaves. Internal, Los Angeles County Courtroom, A. Samantha, Kamala, and the people we have seen consistently in the hearing and trial, including Judge Carmichael, are there. A group of men and women, the jury, enter. Carmichael. Have you reached a verdict? One of the jury members. Ladies and gentlemen, we the members of the jury have had a difficult deliberation. We have heard convincing testimony from both sides that it is impossible to render this verdict with confidence or ease. However, in the absence of any physical evidence of the crime charged, we felt forced against the desires and better judgment of some of us to render a verdict of not guilty. The member sits down as the courtroom seems to be enveloped in an atmosphere of tension, despite the satisfaction of many of those present. Kamala lowers her head, almost expressionless. Samantha looks forward, blank. She then turns to Kamala, who is still looking down. Samantha, with trepidation. Why? As people move about, for the two girls it is as if everything stopped, and their frozen postures are out of sync. Watkins, off-screen. I'm sorry, you had a compelling case. You can always appeal. Kamala slowly raises her head and looks at Watkins for the first time here. Samantha is fighting to hold back tears. Kamala, low voice to Samantha and Watkins. They see us as a joke. Pause. We're just kids, so we can't be taken seriously. But a police officer, a man of the law, everybody believes. This is a miscarriage of justice. I'm sorry to be a sore loser, but this is systemic injustice. We never really had a chance to fight this. Watkins. Don't look at it that way. I'm actually a defense attorney. Many of the people I defend are young people your age. It's impossible to get them justice when they come in because they had an altercation with the law. You're very lucky. You won't end up behind bars. You can go back to your lives freely and still continue to pursue justice. Kamala. This feels like a big defeat. But it's just like I told Her Honor way back. The system is badly rigged to favor white men of status and money. The rest of us fall victim. I know those jurors wouldn't be so quick to rush to this judgment. I mean, the body cam shut off the moment he got us in the room alone with him. Suddenly the gavel bangs. Judge Carmichael is banging continuously as few people are left in the room. Carmichael. Miss Jackson and Miss Stivick, can I see you for a moment, please? Samantha, already in her frozen hell. Oh, what do we do now? Carmichael. Nothing. I just want to talk to you. Is that all right? The girls approach the bench. Carmichael. I'm not going to pretend this doesn't feel like hell, nor am I going to say he's not guilty. No one but you and the officer will ever know the truth. These are the holes of justice that people fall through. The irony is that if you were dead, there'd be evidence to convict this man. I personally don't believe you lied. I don't believe the jury fully believes he's innocent. There just wasn't any truly convincing evidence. The main thing for both of you is that you fought. Now, you do both have the right to appeal the decision if you want, but it's going to be more of this process and procedure. And I know the pressures in school with graduation coming up and a decision about your future to be made is not going to make you feel anything but resentment if you have to go through this long process all over again, with little hope that you can change the outcome. Kamala to Samantha. How do you feel? Samantha. Like shit. Kamala to Carmichael. We're going to have to think about it. Life gives you far less choices or chances than you think it does. I was so sure we could get this guy convicted. Carmichael. Well, now you got your eyes opened to the harsh underbelly of the system and the stinging realities of life. Kamala. Oh, I knew about the stinging realities a long time ago. This is no wake-up call for me. It's just a hammered reiteration about the ugly truth of the system. Carmichael. You also have the option to file a civil suit and maybe at least walk away with some monetary compensation. I mean, that's up to you. The girls look at each other. Kamala. We're going to have to regroup. I mean, I had no illusions about the system and all its hidden injustices. But for Samantha, this is like a complete shock. Samantha. No, it's not. The assault itself was the complete shock. This is just the nail in the coffin. I feel really betrayed from start to finish. Kamala. We'll work on the campaigns together. That way, we can help make a change for the better. Samantha. Nah, nothing's going to change. I didn't even want to come here. Carmichael. But you did. So that means something big. Samantha. What thing big? What big fools we are? Carmichael. No. What big and courageous people you are. Someone may need your help, where this time you'll be able to make a real difference for them. The fact that you fought now will give you the courage to stand up for somebody when they can't stand up for themselves. Samantha looks at her with both an unwillingness to believe her mixed with a hope born of Carmichael's words. Kamala. Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Internal, the house, living room, day. Samantha enters with Kamala. No one is there. Kamala. Are you going to be all right? Samantha. Stay with me till someone gets home. Kamala. Are you scared something's going to happen? Samantha. Yeah, that I'll kill myself. Kamala. Oh boy, I'm getting deja vu. All right, I'm not going to leave until I'm sure about you. Samantha. I want to go see Josh. Kamala. Are you sure you want to do that? Samantha. Yes, I'm totally sure. You said I can at least give courage to someone else not to give up, remember? Kamala. Actually, it was Judge Carmichael who said that. All right, maybe this will be kind of like therapy for you. Samantha. All right, let me get dressed. Kamala. You already are dressed. Samantha. Well, let me get redressed. Let me change my outfit. Internal, the house, Samantha's room, day. Samantha is trying on a smart-looking outfit, a white button-down shirt with black buttons atop an attractive black pants bottom. Kamala, wow, that's a power outfit. Samantha, perfect, let's go. Kamala, you want me to come with you? Samantha, yeah, don't leave me yet. Kamala, I like the way you're taking care of yourself. Samantha, yeah, I am. This is not the first time I had to bounce back from assault. Internal, the jail, visitors' waiting room, day. The two girls enter. They go up to a guard. Samantha, yes, I'm here to see Joshua Stivic. I'm his sister. Guard, yeah, I think I remember you. Empty your pockets and bag, please. Samantha does so. Kamala, I can hold on to the stuff while you go in. Guard, and who are you? I don't believe I've seen you here before. Samantha, oh, she's my girlfriend, my mainstay. You can totally trust her. Guard, all right, come with me. The guard leads her out into the visiting room while Kamala sits and waits. Amanda enters. She sees Kamala and goes over to her. Amanda, smiling. Hey, how you doing? I guess Samantha went in. Kamala, she just went in. Amanda, oh, well, I guess we'll just sit and wait together. She sits beside her. Amanda, hey, what's ailing you? Kamala, oh, do I look that bad? Amanda, well, you look a bit more down than usual. Kamala, yeah, we got our judgment. The verdict was not guilty. Amanda, oh man, that sucks. You should have called me in to testify. Kamala, thank you, but I don't think that would have made a difference. Amanda, I don't know. I'm an astute judge of character. Kamala, yeah, but it's systemic racism, sexism, and bias against children and teens. I went through the whole litany in the hearing about the systemic injustice, where a cop is usually given the benefit of the doubt, while we minors are basically mistrusted. We're not old enough to make good, sound judgments. We're not as good at keeping up the lies people tell each other to escape the reality. Amanda, wow, I couldn't have said it like that, but it makes total sense. I'm sorry you two had to go through that. Kamala looks at her forlorn with a smile of recognition. Kamala, thank you. I really appreciate that. Internal, jail, visiting room, day. Josh and Samantha. They are both looking at each other with compassionate recognition. Josh, now that we both got a shitty deal, we can support each other through. Samantha, yeah, I knew I had to come here. I was ready to kill myself. I'm glad Kamala was there. Josh, I'm glad you didn't kill yourself. That would have made life a lot tougher for me. Just knowing you and Amanda are there makes me feel it's okay. Samantha, me too, bro. You and Kamala give me a reason to keep on living. But she's having a hard time too. I guess we're all having a hard time. Josh, and Amanda too. It's not easy for her to suddenly have her boyfriend yanked away like that. I mean, I kept saying this is what would happen, but she refused to believe it. She kept insisting everything would work out. Samantha, she's handling it well. Josh, that's probably what she's just telling you. I think underneath, she's crying like crazy. So you have to be there for her. She won't ask for support. She's learned to keep it inside. So you have to let her know you're with her. Samantha, oh, we've been kind of avoiding each other so we wouldn't end up doing what we did that got you upset. Josh, my God, you can't support each other without falling into bed together? Samantha, well, I'm getting closer to Kamala, so it's not as hard on me. But Amanda is alone every night. She really needs support. Josh, so give it to her. Internal, jail, visiting room, day. Josh and Amanda. Josh. So they took 2 years off the table, and that was what today was like. A year might not seem like much to you. Amanda. Are you kidding? That's a whole year I have to suffer. Josh. But so basically I just lost a whole year. We just lost. Amanda. Why couldn't you bring me with you? I could have spoken on your behalf. Josh. It wouldn't have made a difference. Amanda. You don't know that. Same thing with Samantha and Kamala. I always feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you, Obogo.